Are you curious about how a single battle could change the course of history? For example, the Battle of Thermopylae in 480 BC had consequences that rippled through the ages. Hello, and welcome back to The Abandoned Archaeologist, the channel to learn all about ancient archaeological findings. Today, we'll delve into the impact of this ancient conflict and how it still shapes our world. But before we begin, to get your attention, we have a question you can answer at the end of the video. Who won the Battle of Thermopylae? Write down your answer in the comment section and see if you got it right. Here we begin. Let's travel back to 480 BC, when the Achaemenid Persian Empire, led by Xerxes I, faced off against a coalition of Greek city-states led by Leonidas I of Sparta. The Battle of Thermopylae lasted 3 days and became a defining moment in the Greco-Persian Wars and has been immortalized in history books. Despite being vastly outnumbered with only 7,000 soldiers, the Greeks stood their ground against an estimated 120,000 to 300,000 Persians, blocking the only pass through which the enemy army could advance. The Greeks held out for 7 days until a local resident revealed a secret path to the Persians, leaving Leonidas and his 300 Spartans alongside 700 Thespians to guard their retreat. Although the Greeks lost Thermopylae, they regrouped and defeated the Persian fleet at the Battle of Salamis. The victory forced Xerxes to withdraw much of his army back to Asia. While the Battle of Thermopylae demonstrated the power of defending native soil and using terrain as a force multiplier, it was also a testament to the courage, bravery, and unwavering commitment of those who fought and gave their lives to protect their homeland. What was the battle about? During the ancient times, city-states and empires dominated the world, with Athens and Eretria among them. These two city-states joined forces in the Ionian Revolt against the Persian Empire of Darius I in 499 to 494 BC. The revolt threatened the Persian Empire's stability, and Darius saw the opportunity to expand his empire by invading Greece. Darius sent emissaries to all Greek city-states asking for their submission, but Athens and Sparta refused to comply. This led to Sparta also being at war with Persia. Darius attacked and destroyed Eretria before heading to Athens, but the Athenians won the Battle of Marathon, forcing the Persian army to retreat to Asia. Darius planned to subjugate Greece, but his plan was postponed when his Egyptian province revolted in 486 BC. His son Xerxes I ascended to the Persian throne and resumed preparations to invade Greece. By early 480 BC, the Persian army had crossed into Europe, and many Greek cities surrendered to the Persian demand for earth and water. However, the Athenians and Spartans allied with other Greek city-states and resisted the Persian invaders. They dispatched 10,000 hoplites to block Xerxes' advance in the Vale of Tempe, but they learned that Xerxes had crossed the Hellespont and retreated. So Themistocles proposed a second strategy to block the pass of Thermopylae. The Peloponnesian sites had contingency plans to protect the Isthmus of Corinth, and the women and the children of Athens would evacuate to Troezen in case of a Persian invasion. Battle. The first day. The Battle of Thermopylae's first day marked the first day since the Persian arrival, where the Persian king Xerxes ordered an ineffective attack with 5,000 archers against the Greeks. The Greek shields and helmets deflected the arrows, leading Xerxes to send 10,000 Medes and Scythians to take the defenders prisoner. Then, the Persians launched a frontal assault on the Greeks at the narrowest part of the pass in waves of 10,000 men. The Greeks fought in front of the Phocian wall, allowing them to use fewer soldiers. The Greek tactics remain unclear, but according to Ctesias, the first wave was unsuccessful and only 2 or 3 Spartans died in return. Xerxes then deployed the best troops, the Immortals, in a second assault, but they fared no better than the Medes. The Spartans feigned retreat, luring the enemy troops to chase them before turning and attacking them. Xerxes was so shocked by the number of Medes killed that he stood up 3 times during the battle. On the second day of the Battle of Thermopylae, Xerxes ordered another infantry assault on the pass, assuming the Greeks would be too injured to resist. However, the Persian forces failed to make any headway. Xerxes eventually called off the attack and withdrew to his camp, unsure how to proceed. Later that day, a local man named Ephialtes betrayed the Greeks by informing Xerxes of a mountain path that could be used to outflank the Greek position. The path, which ran along the ridge of Mount Anopeia, allowed the Persians to bypass the narrow pass of Thermopylae. The Persians sent their elite immortals to take this path and surround the Greeks. One branch led to Phocis, while the other led to the Malian Gulf at Alpinus. The third day, at daybreak on the third day, the Phocians, guarding the path above Thermopylae, became aware of the outflanking Persian column by the rustling of oak leaves. Herodotus says they jumped up and were greatly amazed. Hydarnes was perhaps just amazed to see them, hastily arming themselves as they were to see him and his forces. He feared they were Spartans, but was informed by Ephialtes of Tranchus that they were not. The Phocians retreated to a nearby hill to make their stand. However, not wishing to be delayed, the Persians merely shot a volley of arrows at them before bypassing them to continue their encirclement of the main Greek force. Learning from a runner that the Phocians had not held the path, Leonidas called a council of war at dawn. According to Diodorus, a Persian called Tirhasiades, a Samaean by birth, warned the Greeks. Some of the Greeks argued. Aftermath. The Persian invasion of Greece continued after the Battle of Thermopylae, with the Persians destroying Plataea, Thespae, and Athens. The Greeks retreated and regrouped at the Isthmus of Corinth, where they built a wall and blocked the Persian navy from landing troops on the Peloponnese. Finally, however, Themistocles convinced the Greeks to seek a decisive victory, which they achieved in the Battle of Salamis. The Persians retreated to Asia, leaving Mardonius responsible for completing the conquest the following year. At the Battle of Plataea, the Greek army won a decisive victory, ending the invasion of Greece. The Greek navy also destroyed the remaining Persian fleet at the Battle of Mycale. Although Thermopylae was a defeat for the Greeks, it boosted their morale and turned Leonidas and his men into martyrs. Thermopylae remains one of the most famous battles in ancient European history and is referenced in ancient, recent, and contemporary culture. However, it was not a Pyrrhic victory for the Persians, as they conquered most of Greece and were still fighting in Greece a year later. Consequences. The Battle of Thermopylae, fought in 480 BC between the Greeks and the Persians, had significant consequences for both sides. For the Persians, the victory of Thermopylae gave them control over much of Greece, allowing them to sack and burn cities such as Athens, Plataea, and Thespae. However, this conquest was short-lived, as the Greeks regrouped and eventually defeated the Persians in the Battle of Plataea, ending the invasion of Greece. The battle was a significant loss for the Greeks, but it also had positive consequences. The brave stand of Leonidas and his 300 Spartans at Thermopylae turned them into martyrs and boosted the morale of the Greek soldiers in the second Persian invasion. The Greek navy, which had been waiting at Artemisium, could retreat to the Saronic Gulf and ferry the remaining Athenian citizens to the island of Salamis, where they helped defeat the Persian fleet in the Battle of Salamis. The Battle of Thermopylae also had long-lasting cultural and historical consequences. The Greeks viewed the battle as a symbol of their bravery and defiance against overwhelming odds, and it has been celebrated in literature, art, and film for centuries. It also played a significant role in shaping the development of Western civilization, as it is one of the first major conflicts between East and West and helped to define the cultural differences between the two regions. So this is it. Comment your views, and the answer to our question is: the Persians won the Battle of Thermopylae, but the Greeks put up a valiant fight and inflicted significant casualties on the Persian army. Subscribe for more.